Good morning, everyone. 6 o'clock here on Up with KREM. I'm Tim Pham. Let's start off your morning with Brandon T. Jones in the Weather Center, tracking a beautiful start to this Monday. Look at that sunrise, Brandon.
I mean, come on, let's get into it, Tim.
Getting into it.
Good morning to everyone out there as well. A beautiful, beautiful sunrise that we've got going on right now. It's kind of a little bit of a tease on what we're going to expect on this beautiful March 2nd, because there's going to be a lot of sunshine to kick things off this week. The mild temperatures also sticking around, pretty much identical to what we saw yesterday on Sunday. That was a gorgeous day, expecting the same kind of conditions today. We do have a little bit of rain returning to the forecast. That's going to make its way in on Wednesday, but as of right now, winds are nice and calm. It's 30 degrees outside. Might have to defrost your window, but a beautiful day ahead.
Here's a live look at your traffic impact this morning at 6:01. This is a look at I-90 and Fancher. Off to a good start here on this Monday. Your morning commute looking great if you're headed out the door right now. Dry road conditions. It is cold though, so you may need to scrape your windshield, but overall not a bad way to start off this Monday morning. Also, it's going to get pretty sunny here, so maybe grab your sunglasses too while you're at it. On Up with KREM, we do bring you weather and traffic together every 30 minutes. New within the last hour, we heard from Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth on the joint strikes on Iran. He says the mission of the Trump administration is laser focused on making sure Iran will never have nuclear weapons.
This is not a so-called regime change war, but the regime sure did change, and the world is better off for it. We hope the Iranian people take advantage of this incredible opportunity. President Trump has been clear, now is your time. To Iranian security forces, choose wisely.
Comes after this morning we heard from Pete Hegseth, Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth, and now we're going to hear from CBS's Bradley Blackburn.
Rockets blasted over Israeli skies Monday morning after its defense forces exchanged fire with Hezbollah fighters in Lebanon. New video has surfaced of fighter jets falling from the sky. U.S. Central Command says the F-15s were mistakenly shot down by Kuwait's air defenses, but that all crews ejected and are in stable condition. It comes 3 days after the U.S. and Israel launched strikes against Iran, killing its supreme leader. The Pentagon posted new video of strikes against Iranian targets overnight. Iran and its proxies have struck back with a barrage of missiles and drones aimed at Israel and American military interests in the region.
Combat operations continue at this time in full force, and they will continue until all of our objectives are achieved.
Sunday, President Trump again said the strikes are necessary to stop Iran from getting a nuclear weapon. He also vowed to avenge the deaths of American service members killed in retaliatory strikes over the weekend.
Sadly, there will likely be more. Before it ends, that's the way it is.
The president told the New York Times the joint strikes may not end for 4 to 5 weeks and that he has 3 people in mind to run Iran. Iran's top security official says a committee will run the country. He also pushed back on reports that nuclear talks would resume, posting on social media, "We will not negotiate with the United States." Bradley Blackburn, CBS News, New York.
Well, the strikes are expected to impact oil prices. Oil futures surged in the first trade since the attacks began over the weekend. U.S. crude rose about $8 a barrel to around $75. Brent crude, the international benchmark, jumped more than 12% to about $82 a barrel. And stock futures fell sharply, with the Dow, S&P 500, and the Nasdaq down about 1%. Analysts say gas prices could rise more than 25 cents a gallon because of the conflict. So coming up here at 6:30, we are hearing from Washington lawmakers on the conflict in the Middle East. This morning, we are learning more about a deadly shooting in Texas. At least 2 are dead and 14 others are hurt. The FBI is investigating the Austin shooting as a potential act of terrorism. Investigators say the suspect parked his SUV in front of a bar just before 2 a.m., opening fire on patrons with a handgun. Police say he then drove down the street, parked again, and got out with a rifle, shooting more people. Officers eventually shot and killed the suspect. The shooter has been identified as 53-year-old Negia John. He's originally from Senegal and became a naturalized U.S. citizen.
There were indicators that on the subject and in his vehicle that indicate potential nexus to terrorism. Again, it's still too early to make a determination on that.
Law enforcement officials say the suspect was wearing a sweatshirt that said "Property of Allah" and a shirt with the Iranian flag. A search warrant uncovered an Iranian flag and pictures of Iranian leaders inside. The shooting came just one day after the U.S. and Israel attack on Iran. New details this morning about the homicide suspect killed by Spokane police last week. The county medical examiner identifies him as 47-year-old Richard Shepard. An independent team led by the Spokane County Sheriff's Office is now investigating the shooting. This is the shotgun Shepard was carrying at the time of the shooting. A preliminary report shows Shepard refused to surrender when police surrounded him at a home. He then went into other neighbors' backyards when police shot him. Shepard was a suspect at a homicide at the Apple Tree Inn. Spokane police also released the names of the officers involved in the shooting. They are Detective Taylor Johnson, Detective Nathan Donaldson, and Officer Daniel Valencia. All three were placed on administrative leave, which is standard protocol. Happening today, some Idaho lawmakers are pushing to restore a state program that paid parents and spouses to care for their loved ones with disabilities after the Department of Health and Welfare ended it last year. The program was created during the pandemic, but ended in 2025 over concerns of overuse and potential fraud and abuse. House Minority Leader Alana Rubel wants to bring back the program in a bill that is set to be introduced today.
He can't feed himself, bathe himself, clothe himself. If he needs to get from his wheelchair to the couch, to the bed, or into one of his adaptive equipments, it takes me to do all of that for him.
Really worry about the financial duress that they're being put under and whether some of them may be losing their home soon if we don't act.
Rubel also proposed legislation that would limit the program to 1,000 families and capping parents or spouses to work 25 hours a week as a paid caregiver. She acknowledges this won't solve the problem, but calls the legislation a bridge. New data shows more than 1,100 confirmed cases of measles have been reported in the U.S. in just the first 2 months of 2026, and that's already 6 times more than is typically expected for an entire year. With spring break travel on the horizon, experts fear this could spread the highly contagious virus. Most of the confirmed cases this year are in those ages 5 to 19. The CDC says 92% of those measles infections are in those who are unvaccinated or their vaccination status is unknown.
At first, it can look like a cold. You can get a fever and a cough, red eyes, runny nose. But as you get more sick, 1 in 4 individuals, children who get measles, will end up hospitalized.
According to the Washington Department of Health, there have been 26 confirmed cases. And in Idaho, the CDC is reporting there have been 2 confirmed cases. A busy weekend for firefighters with 2 separate structure fires, one on Spokane South Hill, the other in Spokane Valley. Multiple fire crews responded to a house fire last night. Fire officials say the fire started in the kitchen and spread to the attic. No one was home, but crews did find a dog, and thankfully they were able to resuscitate it.
We made our way into the structure, did a primary search of the entire structure. Nothing found, except we did find a dog. Pretty neat. We were able to revive the dog when we got out in the front yard with oxygen, and he's running around back there right now. I just saw him.
The fire is under investigation. Spokane Valley Fire says the attic has smoke damage. While there was not much structural damage, the family will not be staying there. Meantime, a kitchen fire on Spokane South Hill forced an apartment complex to evacuate. It happened at the Ferris Garden Court off of Regal Street. Spokane fire crews saw smoke coming from a second-floor apartment. No one was inside when the fire started.
I'll tell you what, folks, we've got no shortage of beautiful sights here in the inland Northwest. Live look right now over beautiful Lake Coeur d'Alene as that sunrise starts to slowly make its way up. It is a little bit chilly as you walk out the doors this morning, 30 degrees, but the winds are nice and calm. I'll take that as a little bit of a win right there. And then when we take a look at our live radar, not much happening. So it's going to be a beautiful spring-like day ahead of us. We've got your full forecast coming up in about 10 minutes.
We have some exciting news to share with you. Up with KREM is welcoming a new team member next Monday, 1 week from today. We are looking forward to introducing you to KREM 2's new morning, noon, and weather anchor. Here's a hint for you. She's from Washington and is looking forward to joining our weather impact team of meteorologists. We will introduce you to her again 1 week from today, Monday, March 9th at 5 a.m. Any guesses on who it could be? Send them in.